Hi, I'm Ellen Priest, and you're visiting my studio today with the Delaware Division of the Arts. All of my work is based on jazz. Right now I'm working with the music of two Cuban musicians. Arturo Stable is a percussionist, and Elio Villafranca is a pianist. And the music you hear behind me is Arturo on an African thumb piano. And the piece he's beginning is titled En la Colonia, and it's on their CD Dos y Más. After studying the score and just listening very carefully for a long time, the first thing I do is paint brush studies. And the brush studies are my effort to capture specific sounds or the movement of the whole piece of music. The drawing on your left is one of a series of about 8 where I was working with the higher percussion sounds like the bongo. The drawing on your right is where part of a group of several where I was working with the sounds from the big deep conga drum. So it's a heavier, deeper sound. So I take one form and I position it on the back layer on that big piece of watercolor paper. Several times I repeat it based on the position of notes and an actual measure of the music. Then you can see some smaller marks. Those are from the little percussion marks that are transferred on as well. As I'm painting into it, I try to bring out the large forms, but I also try to make the whole surface flicker. And that sets up the movement of everything that is eventually going to come in front of it. My hope is that as I build up these layers of the percussion marks, it's going to give the feel of all those sounds floating in space. What you're seeing now is the first translucent layer taped on over the base layer that you saw before. And the colored areas are collage pieces that are cut according to the shapes from those percussion studies. I use color to establish the position of forms in space. And I set up those relationships so that they push each other away. Now you're seeing the front layer, which will be the front on the finished painting, taped over the middle layer and the base, and you can see the buildup of collage pieces. Once I have those very large forms painted in, I let the whole thing dry for a couple of weeks. Then I start to cut away. My process is additive right up until the end, and then it's subtractive. I add everything in there that I know I'm going to need, and then I strip it down until it's all in motion. Some of the work that will be shown is based on a project I did with jazz students at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and also some work based on a beautiful jazz waltz by Freddie Hubbard. It's been a pleasure to visit with you today, and I hope you'll come by the gallery and see the work during March.